Hello, and welcome to Not Too Shabby, the Chimney Corners Camp podcast, featuring camp directors Shannon Donovan Monty and Abbot Pittman. In each episode of this podcast, Shannon and Abbot will share crazy camp stories, let you in on some camp secrets, tips, and tricks, talk about life at Chimney, and even pull the curtain back on how camp runs from behind the scenes. From staffing to activity planning to the friendships we make along the way, join us twice a month for your camp fix.
All right, what's up, Shannon? Okay.
Boy, getting back into the swing of things. It's February.
It's February. Well, I mean, we've had a month to...
I know, and there's like 5 billion inches of snow out there. I feel like we've been like under a pile of snow for a really long time.
I'm kind of over it, respectfully.
Yeah.
But I'm also from the South.
Yeah, it's funny because we've had so few winters with tons of snow. So
Sure.
I'm happy for the ski places. I'm happy. I'm less happy for myself. But it's so unusual here to have it snow and then not have a thaw in between snows.
Yeah.
So we've just had snow upon snow with no melts.
And negative degrees of weather. It's been like negative 15. Like I was driving to the YMCA in Pittsfield. It was negative 11 out. I went to take a sip of my iced coffee. Yes, iced coffee in the winter. Okay. And I went to take a sip and it felt warm, my coffee, because the iced coffee was literally warmer than the temperature around me.
Well, it was.
That's insane to me.
Literally.
Wow.
But I grew up like that. Do you know that we went home to Minnesota and also took a road trip down to Iowa a couple years ago? It was for realsy 50 below, not with wind chill, like 50 below. Uh-huh.
You Midwesterners are built different.
We sure are.
Our coldest winters were like 22 degrees in North Carolina.
Yeah. Speaking of
North Carolina, wait, I don't know what.
That
wasn't actually it at all. Go on, try something else.
What's the segue? Oh,
there's no good segue.
Speaking of cozy cabins in the woods.
We weren't talking about. Okay. Today we thought it would be fun if Shannon and I regale you with the history of the names of our cabins. And we were talking about this and we were like, maybe we should pull up a map because we don't know all the names of the cabins. But what we're going to do is we're going to try. So if you do not know, for those new listeners, we have 3 units at Chimney. What are they called, Shannon?
Juniors, intermediates, and seniors.
How do we divide? Who goes in juniors? Who goes in seniors?
Okay. So our 96 youngest campers are juniors, technically. And then our middle group of campers are intermediates age-wise, and then our oldest are seniors. And I say that because at Chimney Corners and at Camp Beckett, we register kids regardless of their age. Mm-hmm. So in theory, we could have 300 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
And if that happened, then there'd be 11-year-olds in every unit.
Oh my gosh.
Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, I don't think we would call them juniors, intermediate, seniors. We'd have to just rebrand that. Be like wolves and
I don't
bears.
think so.
Okay.
I think.
Can you imagine being a junior when like your classmate is a senior?
So fun fact, we have had kids through the years. I remember when I first started, there was a girl that had been in juniors for 5 years.
Yes.
Now there used to be 4 units at Chimney.
That's right.
When I got here, but it was a very short part of Chimney's history because for most of its history, it was juniors, intermediate, seniors.
And who was the secret 4th?
Middies. So,
middies.
But what they did, and it was sometime when toward the middle to the end of Susan's tenure here, they took juniors and just split it in half, 5 and 5. And that was back when there was 10 cabins in each unit. So the unintended consequence of that was that each unit had a unit director, but the staff was kind of on the small side. So I think people in juniors and middies felt like just a smaller, more isolated social group. So plus, weirdly, they just always got thrown together. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was, I made the change. I actually made the change right before Bridget was graduating to be a middie. I changed it to all juniors, which basically meant she was a junior for longer, and she was super mad at me.
I love it. I think like the juniors being sort of like, they're a little mischievous. They know that they can get away with stuff, but they're also learning and like figuring out friendships. And it's sort of it's a very sweet and like fun
Enthusiastic.
and enthusiastic and just like hype group of kids. You have the intermediate kids who are starting to really figure out their personalities.
Yep.
And the intermediate unit really inspires and encourages that, I think, which is great.
Yes.
They lean right into that. Like you be whatever you want, explore who you are in that age group.
Yeah.
And the seniors are starting to solidify their personalities, which is really cool. So they're sort of coming off their intermediates year, and then they're like learning like what do I like? What am I into? What kind of person do I want to be? And so it's always fun to watch them sort of develop themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like I love juniors' enthusiasm and energy. I love intermediate quirk, and I love seniors like, just
Confidence.
confidence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool kid.
Cool kid.
But also like you said, figuring it out. Like they just seem to have that little extra I kind of get who I am thing going on.
Right.
Which I love. I love them all.
Which unit do you think you would have worked in?
I don't know.
Come on,
I would have been probably like Bridget, where I would have thought I should be in seniors, but would have been just great in juniors. And I don't know. But it's funny when I've gotten thrown into stuff like that. I do often end up with the kind of the middle schoolers, the hardest kids, and hard only because in middle school it's angsty. There's no way around it.
It's true.
It's hard. You're just, friends are so important, but you're just learning how to be a good friend. There's so much power weirdness going on.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I have to say I got really lucky. I enjoyed all of the schools that I went to. I didn't have like an uncomfortable school situation where there's a weird power dynamic or anything, and like I was bullied or anything like that. Thank goodness. But don't look at me like that.
Well, you know what they say.
That means that I was the bully.
Not the bully, but you probably were just socially sound.
I think you'd be surprised if you saw pictures of me from middle school. I wore the same fingerless gloves that said, they were brown and they said hockey on them. They were just the ugliest fingerless gloves. I wore those every day, and the same Gap sweatshirt every single day. I played the double bass in the orchestra, and my fingers got so callous that they were constantly bleeding. And because I didn't have Band-Aids, I would take tissue paper and Scotch tape, and just tape my fingers up. All of this while I'm listening to an iPod shuffle with the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack on it. So if you think for a second that I was socially ept.
Well, except like you say that, but you could absolutely have been. You know what? So weirdly, I was a cheerleader
in middle school or
in
high school? So was my mom. What?
But it was not cool to be a cheerleader at my school. Like the coolest people in my class were absolutely like not the cheerleaders.
That's so weird.
And it was just something I kind of got pulled into for a short time until I figured out that I hated it.
Oh.
But I respect people who do cheering, who enjoy it and like the gymnastics. And again, I love enthusiasm.
So you're talking about you get thrown in with the middle school or the intermediate age group, but you don't know which you know what I find a lot is that
What about you?
I'll answer that question, but I want to make an observation first, and it's that a lot of our aides coming out of their aide summer, they sign up for seniors because there's a pretty common trend that senior unit directors end up becoming aides directors, or senior unit counselors end up becoming aides directors because they like that older age group. And two, they were most recently in seniors.
Right.
So like that is their most recent feeling of what camp is. So we very rarely get people who want to be intermediate juniors. We have this big slew of senior counselors, and thankfully the aides directors are like, no, I know where you'd fit best. Now, when I first came to Chimney, I was certain I would have been an intermediate unit counselor. I'm kind of weird. I love that age group. I always did when I worked in day camp. But as I get older, I'm starting to realize it's juniors.
Yeah, I know. I believe that about you. I mean, because you love it. Like you like that energy. Like you have that. You can match that energy, which is really great.
Yeah.
I love to listen to, I don't know. They all have their perks. I was, of course, as we know, I was never a counselor, which... Famously. I was always a program staff.
I was never an overnight counselor, so don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Well, we all got here somehow. So we have these 3 units at camp, and you were going to make a Harry Potter connection.
Oh, I was just saying that, it would be interesting if we split camp by, personalities, like Hufflepuffs and Ravenclaws, just by people's characteristics versus by their age. It would be interesting.
If we had to make the units houses, which ones would go where? who would be Gryffindor, who would be Slytherin, who would be Hufflepuff, who would be Ravenclaw, and which house are we throwing out?
Slytherin. You have to, don't you?
The evil house. That's fair. Okay, so we have Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff. I think the intermediate unit is Ravenclaw.
Yeah, me too. Yep. I think we're going to be Hufflepuff's juniors
Yep,
and
okay.
Gryffindor seniors.
Perfect. Yeah, we're aligned there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's too easy.
And maybe the staff are Slytherin.
The staff are Slytherin. You and I are Slytherin. Are you
We
a
are.
Slytherin? What would you be?
Oh, probably Hufflepuff.
Or Ravenclaw?
Yeah, maybe the whole trivia thing.
You are really good at trivia. For those who are listening, Shannon's very good at trivia. And actually, she can hear the first 4 seconds of a song and she's starting to write it down. And we're over here still processing the notes. I don't know how you do that.
It has to be a very specific period of time.
It's 60s to 90s. It's 30 years of time.
Maybe 90s.
It's 30 years of time.
90s, I'm a little iffy.
All right, y'all, we are going to get into, after 15 minutes of exposition, the meat and potatoes of our podcast, which is we are going to try to recite the cabin names. And then Shannon and I are going to go back and forth on the cabins, and we're going to tell you with confidence, probably wrongly, the name etymology of the cabin. So I can't tell you why a cabin was named a certain name. Shannon might know some of that, and I know 2 or 3 of them, but we don't know that. So for example, an easy one would be Noah's Ark. Mm-hmm. We all know Noah's Ark is a biblical story from the Old Testament. Is that right?
It is, yep.
So it's Old Testament. So it's Judeo-Christian, and it comes from the idea that Noah built this massive ship, took 2 of each animal. We all know it. Okay.
It's one of the covenants too.
I don't know what that means.
Well, it's one of the agreements. I can't remember. Anyway, look it up.
The agreement is that we wouldn't get another flood.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got all this.
The rainbow.
Snow.
It's a sign
The
of the
rainbow.
promise
And the dove.
of and the dove and the olive branch.
We love symbolism.
We do.
The Bible loves symbolism. Well, so that would be an example, an easy example. So we're going to tell you with confidence, and then the other person's going to fact check them. I'll be doing a little bit of Google. You have your phone? You know how to use it?
I do.
You know how to use Google?
Should we just trade off naming
Yeah.
in the units till we've hopefully named them all?
Do you want to start?
I can.
Juniors.
Yeah, juniors.
Yeah.
Don Treader. Okay.
It is a boat, as they all are, or a watercraft that is in the Chronicles of Narnia book series, but I'm going to pretend that I'm very confident. And the lion, Asman, goes across the ocean.
It's a totally, it's the original kids are on the trip, but it's Prince Caspian. And do you want to know why I know that? Because I looked it up right before I walked in.
You're kidding.
I did know Chronicles of Narnia. I knew all that, but
Aslan? What's his name?
Aslan's the lion.
He's the god of Narnia.
Yeah. Yep.
And then there's that other god of Narnia, the one with all those arms. No. Okay, never read them.
There's the Snow Queen, the Ice Queen.
She is mean.
She's
with all that Turkish delight.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so Don Treader.
That's true.
So Don Treader, we
okay.
got that. That's from the Chronicles of Narnia.
So that's
your turn. Old Ironsides.
Old Ironsides. That is a ship that was made of iron that was used. I want to say that it's actually goes. Does it go back to the Civil War? I feel like it was
Just
a battleship of some sort. I feel like it goes surprisingly far back. And that's what I know.
Okay, that's pretty good. It is a ship that was launched in 1797. Before the Civil War.
So
Before
the Revolutionary War.
Right, around the Revolutionary War. It is a historic 44-gun wood-hulled frigate of the U.S. Navy, and it was nicknamed Old Ironsides not because it was made of iron. It was made of oak, and because it had these thick live oak sides, cannonballs just bounced off of it.
It was impervious.
It was impervious. And I don't know if it's still around. It's currently in Boston. That's wild. It's also actually called the USS Constitution. But naming a cabin the USS Constitution is kind of, it's not as fun.
It's its nickname.
Old Ironsides is a nickname.
Of the U.S. Constitution, which is in Boston Harbor. Boston Harbor. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm. Give me one.
Calypso.
Oh, shoot. I want to say it's a pirate ship. Named after Calypso is a mythological creature.
Yep.
From Greek mythology.
Yep.
Is that true?
Yeah. From,
and
yes.
it's a pirate ship, and it's fake.
Okay. So you're right about Calypso being from, it's actually from the Odyssey.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So, sorry, back up. Calypso, the book or the ship was actually Jacques Cousteau's ship. Jacques Cousteau was this, when I was growing up, a very famous marine biologist who traveled all over the world. John Denver, and I know this is why, because...
Why do you know this?
Well, because of my age. So it was very popular when I was a kid. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if that name got chosen probably in the 70s, because he would have been really popular. And John Denver wrote a song about Calypso, the boat. Calypso was the siren who tempted Odysseus to stay on her island.
Why do you know that?
Because I'm an English major and I read the Odyssey. And
I read the Odyssey.
Susan Vega wrote a song about Calypso.
Okay, so I'm fact checking you here. You're absolutely right about Calypso, about the name. The ship was sank in 1996 on accident, hit in Singapore, and it was launched in 1942.
And whose boat was it?
Jacques Cousteau. Yeah. Okay, impressive.
See,
Not
all the people
bad.
my age are all going,
Obviously.
duh. But I know, but if it's from a long ago.
Okay, I'm going to give you one. It's a Seahawk.
It's a football team.
A winning team.
I know who. I'm almost sure Berta came up with Seahawk.
Okay.
And it must be a boat. But I don't. Clearly
it must be a boat is a crazy thing to say when we know that all of them are watercraft.
Except for one. And
we'll
have to cross that bridge. But that's all I know.
Okay. Looking up, it could refer to two vessels. One is an unmanned surface vessel operated by the U.S. Navy for surveillance. There's another smaller one that is a motor yacht that is currently listed for sale. So I think we could consider the 112-foot motor yacht to put in our lake.
We should probably. I need to ask Berta why we named it Seahawk. I remember having a very long conversation about it. I just don't remember any of the detail of it. Okay. So that was Seahawk. Seraphim.
Okay. You would give me Seraphim because you're going to have to give more information. Seraphim is not a boat. It is a boat. However, it is now a boat. But when it's a carryover name. It's one of the original not the Brewsters. Hold on.
I think it's a carryover.
And it's spelled wrong. On the census, the person named Seraphim, who is a historic figure, not of the Brewsters, I
thought okay.
Okay, sorry. Was spelled Serafim. Seraphim.
You're saying there's a Seraphim that was part of the Brewster family?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe that is.
And it's a carryover from those names. However, a seraphim is something biblical. An angel?
Like some sort of angel, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not actually a ship. It's the only one, other than there's a submarine that's not actually a ship.
Okay. But
what do you know?
Weirdly, the Midi cabins were the ones that were named, and that was not the name of a Midi cabin.
Interesting.
But it may have been like a double, like it may have been an old cabin name that was a mix of different origin stories.
I think I got that from Amy. I think Amy, our CEO, who is a Chimney alum, told me that. So we'll have to double check that. But it is not a boat. It's a boat now. Hold on. Seraphim ship. I've looked this up so many times. Me and Gwen spent like 20 minutes last summer doing it. It is currently a bulk carrier.
Okay.
Not very exciting. And is sailing under the flag of Liberia.
Like many boats. That's a common.
Yeah, because of taxes and laws.
I don't know why. I just know.
A lot of boats are, what is the word? Not sailed, but commissioned by or under the flag of different countries that aren't America because of their taxes. All right, give me another one.
No,
I'll give you one.
Wait, yeah, it's your turn to give me.
Gypsy moth.
Gypsy moth is, Is it a sailboat of some sort?
Say
I
it
don't.
with
I don't. I
confidence.
really don't.
You
have
don't
any,
know.
I don't really know. I know that you spell it Jipsy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doing a little search. The gypsy moth is a 53-foot ketch that Sir Francis Chichester commissioned to sail single-handedly around the globe, racing against time set by the clipper ships of the 19th century.
Interesting.
So this was launched in 1966. It's currently in active service in England. Pretty cool.
That was gypsy moth. Okay. Carpathia.
Carpathia. I love this one because it's having its moment right now on the
Right.
internet. People
Yeah.
are like, but I knew about this before its moment on the internet. I want you to know that, just
Oh,
like I knew about
okay.
Chapel Rome before anybody else.
Okay.
It's important that everybody just knows that right now.
Now I know.
The Carpathia was I don't know what kind of ship it was. I want to say it was some kind of, I don't think it was like a luxury ship or anything, but it was several miles away when the Titanic sank. And the Titanic sent out SOS signals. Other ships thought they were doing fireworks or had their radios off, at the Carpathia, which was really far away, heard it. And they were like, we got to get there. So they went so fast that ship like should not have been able to go that fast. And the captain was like, I don't care if this thing blows up, we're going.
Wow.
It went like 15 knots or something. I wouldn't know. And it can only go like 12 on paper. So don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it like just blew out of the water how fast it could go. Got there and managed to be the first boat on scene when the Titanic was sinking, and did save, hundreds of lives.
Wow.
But there were ships that were closer, unfortunately, that did not respond to the distress signals.
And had they maybe more people would have survived.
Right.
Maybe Leonardo DiCaprio
Would have survived. Oh my God.
I just watched that movie not too long ago.
So I will read you. The RMS Carpathia was a Cunard passenger liner, so it was a passenger liner, known for rescuing 705 survivors of the Titanic disaster. It rushed through fields of ice at high speed, taking passengers and crew in lifeboats.
Wow. Amazing.
Pretty
Very
cool.
heroic.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorites that we have named.
Okay.
You gave me Carpathia, so I'll give you Jolly Roger.
Jolly Roger.
Yep.
That is a pirate ship. It's what you call the actual pirate flag.
That's right.
Is the Jolly Roger.
That's correct.
And that's all I know.
It is a historic, iconic black flag with a skull and crossbones used by 18th century pirates to intimidate merchant ships. It's also the name of fictional. It's just fictionally used as a ship, like Captain Hook. I don't know if that's his ship's name, but I'm saying like in literature, Jolly Roger's often the name of a pirate ship.
That makes sense.
It does.
Okay, now we're getting down to
The last few.
can't think of any more.
How about
I'm going to be in trouble.
the SS Minnow?
Oh, that's a good one. That is the boat that the Gilligan's Island was based on, or was. And after a 3-hour tour, they actually shipwrecked on a.
Are you reading off your phone right now?
No. Often I watched Gilligan's Island.
I did too.
So
Great
many
show.
times. So Uncharted Island. Do you know that people called the U.S. Coast Guard to say, "Hey, there's a group of 7 people stranded on a deserted island. You should go save them."
Over a fictional show.
Yeah,
With
that's
the-
how real it was for some folks. Even though most of what happened on that was ridiculous.
Yeah, but it was a funny show.
But
especially
it
when
was
you're a
very
kid.
funny. I always wanted to hang out with Gilligan. I thought that would be fun. He seemed fun.
He did seem fun. He got typecast, unfortunately. That actor was never able to work again because people thought he was an idiot because of his character.
Although he was on a really popular show, Dobie Gillis, before that.
Before, not after.
But not after.
Not after.
No.
All right, Nautilus.
Nautilus. Well,
That one's not a boat.
it's a type of shell. Which,
It is a type of shell.
Okay, yeah, Nautilus. It's a type of shell with compartments in it. And doesn't it follow some mathematical...
Oh, the
There's
Fibonacci sequence?
Is it the Fibonacci
Yeah.
thing?
It does. Yeah, it is named after a shell, but it's actually the submarine in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
captained by Captain Nemo.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. And it was actually named, we got rid of a cabin name in 2022, and switched it over. And so if Karina Farwell is listening, she helped pick Nautilus. And Bailey Turner, they both helped. Okay. And then we have the Royal Clipper.
What's the Royal Clipper?
Again, that one was the one that Karina helped pick. And I don't know. The Royal Clipper, I'm going to make a guess here, is a sailboat.
Yeah, I remember it. It wasn't like super famous. It didn't have that much of a story, but it was a boat.
Oh, it's the world's largest fully rigged sailing ship.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Can hold 227 passengers. That's bananas. 42
Wow.
sails. 3
Wow.
pools.
That's like that. There's Below Deck. It's
I
a
know you love
reality
that
show.
show. I know.
No, I don't actually, but they do. There's one version that's sailboats.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
And sorry.
you go ahead.
The final one is a recent addition, and that's Valhalla.
Oh, Valhalla.
You love that, and you named it.
Yeah, that's a Viking ship. Or it's also, isn't Valhalla where Vikings go when they die?
It is.
And it always, to me, sounds like an 80s rock group.
It does.
To me. Like,
It
I
really does.
immediately picture mullets and, like, guitars and Valhalla. Like, definitely kind of a valley kind of vibe to it. But
I remember when we picked it, it's a swing cabin, so it can go either in intermediates or it can go in juniors. And when we were talking about it, you mentioned Valhalla, and I quickly Googled it to see if that was also a ship, because this cabin is both.
Yeah.
So, and I thought that was really fun. So Valhalla is a place where Vikings go when they die. It's like their heaven, or Vikings who fight go to Valhalla, warriors. And it's also a steam yacht that was famous for its participation in Kaiser's transatlantic race of 1905.
interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think Klingons are based on Vikings?
Wow.
It seems
Okay,
like
this took a
I
turn.
don't know. Sorry. Free association.
So we have gone through all of the junior unit cabins, and if we missed one, I don't think we did. I have a list right in front of me here, and I don't think we missed any. But is that 14, Shannon, on your list?
14? I didn't write them all down.
Oh.
But
Yeah, there's 12 that we keep in rotation, and then we have an old one that sits kind of behind. Yeah, so it's 14 only because Valhalla swings, and also we do have technically 13 because we have the older J11 Lodge that
Okay.
sits toward the back over there, and that's the one we call the Royal Clipper.
Oh, got it. Got it.
Yes. So that's the junior unit cabins, and a little bit about our units and
Yeah.
some Harry Potter conversation.
And I just threw Star Trek in at the last minute. If you didn't, that'll probably get cut out. So
So we will see you in the next episode, which we're going to record right after this. Do not worry. And it's going to be about our intermediate and senior unit cabins. So we'll talk to you then.
bye.
Bye.